Hey guys, how are we doing? Welcome to Walkie Boxing. It is, what is it today? Thursday, October the 24th, 2024. And still a little bit going on with Tszyu. I can't believe 4 days later and we're still sort of talking about Tszyu. But I've been sent a lot of comments or asked my opinion on Jeff Fenech, who did the interview with Joe McAllister, who will be on the Deep Dive show this week, by the way. And I had a look at it. There's been lots to take in over the last few days. So many people with their opinions and input and output and whatever you might want to call it. And I've watched pretty much most of it, but I didn't see Jai's interview with Jeff. So I checked it out yesterday and really liked it. Now, I know there's probably been a little bit of probably negative feedback for Jeff, I would think. And I don't know why, but there has been a little bit of negative feedback because a lot of people saying, well, you're not perfect and you weren't the greatest trainer and you're not this, because he was very critical of Tszyu's corner. I didn't really see it that way. Look, end of the day, if you do an interview and you're asked a question, well, you answer it. And if you know Jeff, even personally or just him just in general by watching him, you know that he's just the type of guy who doesn't pull the punches, excuse the pun, and doesn't hold back. And if you ask him a question, he's going to give you his honest answer. And I really liked it. I did. Now, you might not necessarily agree with some of the things he was saying or his brutal honesty, but I thought it was good. I thought he just answered it the way you would expect Jeff Fenech to answer it. He was very critical of Tim's corner, not so much the management, and this is probably why I had no problem with it, because I pretty much have echoed everything that Jeff said in his interview. Probably not as in your face as what Jeff is, but I do agree. I think the outside the ring with No Limit and Glenn, I think they've done a fantastic job with Tim. I don't think they could have done anything more for him, to be honest. There is obviously some counter arguments to that in the last two fights with what happened with Fundora, with the handshake agreement for the rematch, and also on this occasion with throwing him in the ring with Bakram Murtazaliev so quick. But look, I'll quickly just go over my thoughts again before we move on, because I want to do the top 10 pound for pound list today, the Aussie boxers, male and female. And at the time, no one said that Murtazaliev was a risk. No one said, what are they thinking, putting him in with a killer like Murtazaliev. Now, we didn't know Murtazaliev was a killer, by the way. He was, anyone that saw him saw that he was solid. The Chechens are, all the Russians, they just are. So we all knew it was going to be a tough fight, but I don't think anyone really thought that would happen. And the Lou DiBellas and the Sergio Moras and all those experts after the fact have had plenty to say about it all. And in hindsight, they're probably right. But as I said, I didn't hear one person in the lead up to the fight say, this is a bad idea. Bad idea. If anything, it was pats on the back all round for No Limit for getting him back in a world title fight so quick and giving him an opportunity to get back into those big fights against what was perceived as a relatively limited champion. And I think it was Terence Crawford actually said that just because no one knows who he is doesn't mean he can't fight. Well, again, I didn't see Terence Crawford saying that before the fight either. But anyway, so that was the argument from the management. Again, I'll stand by. I don't think they could have, No Limit and Glenn Jennings could have done any more to get Tim those opportunities than they have, and except for in hindsight. But again, no one was saying that in the lead up to that fight. But inside the ring, look, he I think he's a little bit non-committal to his arguments inside the ring. He obviously has some sort of relationships or something. No, not relationships, but he knows some of the people involved. Didn't hold back with the cut man though, Mark Gambin. In his opinion, he wasn't sick, which was the case. If you saw the news in the lead up to it, he did say that or the reports were that Mark Gammon had been forced to stay behind because of a burst appendix. Jeff wasn't buying that, and he said nope. I think he was just purposely left out. That's probably one thing I'm not going to agree with Jeff on. I don't think they would invent a story about burst appendix the day before he was supposed to leave, just, you know, to save face. You know, you would have thought that they would have made this decision weeks ago if they weren't going to have him in the ring. But anyway, but look, I really love Jeff's honesty, and I agreed with 95% of what he had to say. And like the rest of us, he's entitled to have his opinion. And again, what I like about Jeff is that, you know, at some point he'll probably cross paths with some of those people, but he won't care. That's just Jeff Fenech that we all know and love. So, but yeah, I liked the interview. It was about 20-25 minutes. If you haven't seen it, check out Jai McAllister. Is it Barking Dog Productions, I think he calls it. I'll ask him tonight when he's on our show. So, but yeah, check it out. He done a great job over there, Jai, with all his interviews he conducted. And yeah, it's good to have guys like him that travel to all the fights and actually interview all these guys and cover it from the ground. So what we're going to do in today's episode is the top 10s, the pound for pound top 10s in Aussie boxing. We might do the world in another time, but we haven't done this for a while. Normally I do this in the studio, well, my studio at home, but I thought today I'm on a walk. A lot of people having the say now, how does this affect the top 10 with what's happened to Tim? And I think we all still had Jai at number 1, but where does it leave Tim? So what we're going to do, I'm going to pull it out of my pocket here, and we'll start from the top and work our way down. And look, I know everyone's going to have different opinions and different a different order, I suppose, to what I've had. But I think overall, I think the top sort of 6 or 7 sort of speak for themselves. But anyway, I'm going to rattle through them, and you guys can have your say on it too. Well, I think number 1 is obviously undisputably Jai Pataya. What a stretch he's on at the moment, and I'm looking forward to him stepping up the level of competition. Now, I know that's probably going to be hard in the cruiserweight divisions because there's not really that much around. And I mean, end of the day, look, beating Marius Breedis twice, I mean, there's, you know, you can't probably get much better than that. But you know, the last couple of fights in between those Breedis fights were you almost call them keep busy fights, but I just think the improvement he's shown has just been fantastic. I think his body shape has changed. He looks to be in fantastic condition. He's really growing into being a champion, and I just think it spells trouble for all the other cruiserweights out there. I do, and I think I'm just counting down the days until, or the months, whatever you might want to call it, until he goes up to heavyweight. I think that's going to be his calling. I think he can do some real damage up there. I don't care about his size. I don't care about you know, whether he can carry power up there, because Alexander Usyk did it, and you know, I put Jai Pataya in his league as far as his talent goes. So that's just my opinion, but I think, as I said, his calling is at heavyweight. And then at number 2, again, no surprises here, Liam Paro. You know, that upset win over Subriel Matias early in the year, I must admit, I didn't think he could do it. Only because I hadn't seen him at the level. I know he'd beaten Montana Love, and you know, we can't really count Brock Jarvis at the level, but you know, he had a good performance against Montana Love, but in my opinion, didn't probably forecast what was going to happen against Subriel Matias, who was a tough guy, and he hadn't really fought anyone either, but he'd made guys quit. He'd had a lot of stoppages, really dominant, and Liam Paro absolutely took him to the cleaners, I thought. So yeah, so just now that, of course, the issue is now is backing it up. That's the test. He has to be able to back it up. You know, we've seen it with other fighters who they have a fantastic performance winning the belt and can't really carry that forward. Well, now the challenge is on Liam to do that, and Richardson Hitchens in December will be the ultimate test for him to prove that, and I think he can do it. Let's hope so, but at the moment I've got him at number 2. Number 3, I've got Jason Maloney. Look, Jason had been on a real good stretch before he lost his last fight in Japan. Not an easy task to go to Japan and defend your belt over there, I can tell you. And there is a push now for a rematch with I always get these Japanese fighters' names. Is it Takai, isn't it? Takai. I think that Jason can get the job done. Remember, he had his opponent, I'm going to call him so I don't get his name continually wrong, had him in trouble in the last round. I think he would have learned a lot from that. He started way too slow last time. I know his opponent had a lot to do with that, but I think Jason can do it. Before that, you know, he'd won in the States, defended it in Canada, and then went to Japan. So I think overall Jason's body of work measures up, and I've got him at number 3. And I'm really hoping that he can get another crack. And I think he's been putting in the groundwork by going to Japan. He was a sparring partner over there for, who was it again? I'm not going to attempt to get the name again because the Japanese fighters, again, I always mix their names up. But look, I think, who was it, the guy that beat Inoue's brother? Anyway, must have done a really good job over there with the sparring because he got the victory. So Jason Maloney, number 3 for me. And at number 4, Tszyu. I've got him dropping down to number 4. Look, it could have even been a little bit lower based on that performance, but look, we've got to give him some sort of leeway, I suppose. Not leeway, but just a bit of an out. I mean, his body of work up to now has been really good, and look, it was just a disastrous day for him, but I still think overall he's our number 4 fighter. I mean, we've talked about Tim relentlessly in the last few days. There's probably not much more to add with Tim. Just the fact that he's now got to regroup, go again and decide what he's going to do for his future. But for me at the moment, number 4 pound for pound fighter in Australia. Still number 5, I've got Sam Goodman on the verge of that undisputed world title fight with Naoya Inoue in Japan on Christmas Eve. So massive opportunity for him. Again, I'm not going to go into his chances. I think everyone's got their own opinion on that, but I don't care. The fact he's got that opportunity, then, I just dropped my phone there, excuse me. I just think the fact that he's there, his performances so far have been good, have been solid. Okay, his level of opposition probably hasn't been stellar, but he has got some really good wins in there and been very impressive. So I've got him at number 5. Number 6, we've got George Kambosos. No arguing with his resume. How you doing? He's, I know he's probably still living a little bit on the back of the Teofimo Lopez win, what was that, 3 years ago now, and hasn't probably measured up since then. The Haney fights, the Lomachenko fight, the disputed fight with Maxie Hughes. But look, this guy is a super talented fighter, and I think he might need to just drop down a level for his next couple of fights and then look at a big one after that. But look, apparently he's got a big fight in the making, and let's see if he can get back to that level. But still, I've got him at number 6 at the moment. Number 7, the other half of the Maloney twins, Andrew Maloney. Look, I don't think you can dispute Andrew Maloney being around that mark. I have seen other lists where he's not even in the list at all. I just thought, well, okay, coming off that Nakatani loss, that's obviously nothing to be ashamed of, is losing to Nakatani. I mean, this is the top 10 pound for pound fighter in the world he lost to. And, and earlier in the year, that disputed loss in Perth, I thought he actually won the fight, but at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter what I think or what everyone else thinks. He didn't get the win. So, that was heartbreaking for Andrew. I really hope he gets another crack at it. Apparently he's going to be back in December. So let's hope he gets another sort of hit at one of those world title belts. And at 33, I think he's 33 now, or the twins are both 33. I know time's running out, but let's hope he gets another go. Now, come on, Neil, let's go, buddy. All right, let's move on. He's just taken me right off the beaten track here, by the way, guys. Excuse me for losing a bit of concentration here, but I'm under trees and shrubs and bushes. All right, number 8, Liam Wilson. Look, this is probably where it gets a little bit shallower, I suppose, at those guys right at the top. Liam Wilson's obviously had a crack at 2 world titles, come up short, but I think look, if you can compare him to a lot of the other fighters out there, you've got to have him in there. So I've got him at number 8. Number 9, is that number 8? Yeah, number 9. Matteo Tapia. There's probably a few people you could probably throw in the mix in these last sort of 2 or 3 spots, but I've got Matteo Tapia. Look, wasn't his greatest performance the other day, but Saavedra is a tough opponent, and I thought the heart he showed was fantastic, and he's got a lot of upside. I think he's had a taste of it now at that elite level on a big card in the States. Excuse me here while I go on to another bush. Come on, buddy. You're killing me here, man. So yeah, I think over his overall body work, I think Matteo Tapia takes the number 9 spot. And number 10, Justice Huni. This could have gone to probably 3 or 4 fighters, but I've put Justice Huni in there. I know there's other probably honourable mentions with Nikita Tszyu, Michael Zarafa, I don't know, Rowan Murdoch, so I'm just sort of throwing a few out there. Let me know if I've forgotten anyone, but there's a list. So going through it again: 1 Jai Pataya, 2 Liam Paro, 3 Jason Maloney, 4 Tim Tszyu, 5 Sam Goodman, 6 George Kambosos, 7 Andrew Maloney, 8 Liam Wilson, 9 Matteo Tapia, and 10 Justice Huni. All right, let's quickly go through the girls as well. We can't forget about them. They do get forgotten a little bit. Number 1, Sky Nicholson. Well, undisputed number 1, I think, in Australia at the moment, just setting the world on fire. Number 2, Shanika Johnson, the WBA 122-pound champion, 2nd time winning a world title as well, so some exciting fights for her coming up. Number 3, I've got Jazzy Parr. Look, there's so many fighters on the level. It was pretty hard to sort of group them all together, but I've got Jazzy Parr at number 3. I've got Taylor Robinson at number 4. Both of these girls are probably more on potential rather than actually bodies of work, but probably a lot like the other girls, if I'm being honest. So number 4, Taylor Robinson. 5, I've got Louisa, is it Bam Bam, is it? Horton. What's her name? It's Louisa Horton anyway. I'm not sure, I can't remember her nickname. I think it's Bam Bam, but she's at number 5. Had that really good fight with Viviana Ruiz, is it? And I haven't actually included her in this rating, by the way, because I know she's based in Australia now, but technically not Australian. I think she's Colombian or something like that. So I haven't included her now at the moment, but maybe down the track if the longer she lives here. But I know she's with Benny Sava, but I haven't really classified her as an Aussie just yet, just as a bit of a heads up. All right, number 6, I've got Desley Robinson. Number 7, I've got Kay Scott. Now you're probably thinking, why have I got Desley Robinson ahead of Kay Scott? They did fight. Kay Scott won the fight. I thought Desley Robinson won that fight quite clearly, so I've got her at number 6 above Kay Scott at 7. Number 8, I've got Lynn Sandstrom. She's had a good win last weekend, I think it was, and has she's tried to step it up against some international level opponents and done okay, so I've got her at number 8. Number 9, Shay Keneally. She's a WBA, is it middleweight or light heavyweight champion? Yeah, great job with that world title belt, but our level of opposition hasn't exactly been great, so I've got her at number 9. And to round out the top 10, Shannon O'Connell. I know her last fight was a little bit disastrous, but really there's no one else really that I think you could probably put in front of her. You'll probably notice that I didn't put Ebony Bridges in. Well, we don't know where she's at the moment. She's obviously pregnant at the moment, so whether she comes back or not, we just don't know. So it's not included at the moment. There's probably another 4 or 5 fighters I probably could have thrown in there. Ella Boot, Chanel Dargan, Amber Amelia. There's a few, but we can only fit 10 in there. So that's mine. What did you think? I'll just quickly rattle them off again. Who was it? So 1, Sky Nicholson, 2, Shanika Johnson, 3, Jazzy Parr, 4, Taylor Robinson, 5, Louisa Horton, 6, Desley Robinson, 7, Kay Scott, 8, Lynn Sandstrom, 9, Shay Keneally, and 10, Shannon O'Connell. So there it is. So we'll do the international top 10 at some stage as well. But what did you think? Let me know in the comments. Let me know what you thought about Jeff Fenech's comments as well. Again, I stand by Jeff. I thought it was very well spoken, and a little bit blunt with a few of the answers, but always between the eyes as his style, and adapting a little bit of that clapback Thursday vibe that Oscar De La Hoya brings as well. So guys, that is it for today. Have a great day, and we'll catch you tomorrow.